He was known for his smile, not the fake kind people force when they want to be polite, but a warm, easy smile that made others feel safe. The kind that told you, everything is okay here. That was his gift, and also his curse. Every morning, he left his small apartment at exactly the same time. He wore clean clothes, neat shoes, and that familiar smile. Neighbors waved. Co-workers laughed when he joked. Even strangers trusted him quickly. Nobody ever asked if he was okay, they assumed he was, because he looked like the kind of man who always had everything under control. But there was a moment each day that no one saw, the moment before he opened his front door. He would stand still. Hand on the handle, eyes closed, breathing slowly, like a swimmer about to dive underwater. That was the only place he could drop the mask, the only place where the weight on his chest was allowed to exist. Then he would open the door, and smile again. He learned how to do this when he was young. His home was never violent. Never loud. Never cruel, but it was empty in all the ways that mattered. His parents were busy surviving, his siblings were busy growing, and he learned very quickly that if he wanted attention, he had to be useful, so he became the helper, the listener, the good one. Every time he solved a problem or made someone laugh, he felt seen, and slowly, without realizing it, he built his identity around being the person who made other people feel better. As he grew older, the pattern followed him. In school, he helped everyone. At work, he stayed late. In relationships, he gave more than he asked. He never wanted to be a burden, so he became everyone else's support. The problem with being strong for everyone else is that eventually, you forget how to be strong for yourself. Late at night, after all the jokes were told and all the responsibilities were met, he would sit alone in his room, no lights, no noise, just him and his thoughts. That was when the smile disappeared, that was when the exhaustion hit, not the kind sleep could fix, the kind that comes from carrying too much for too long. There were nights he would open his phone and scroll through messages, so many people, so many conversations, but no one asking the one question he secretly wanted to hear: how are you really doing? One night, he almost sent a message, just one, something honest, something like, "I'm not okay." But his fingers froze over the keyboard. He imagined the responses: awkwardness, concern, people asking him to explain, and he didn't have the energy to explain, so he deleted the message, and stayed silent. People think loneliness means being alone. That's not true. The loneliest feeling in the world is being surrounded by people who only know the version of you that's pretending. He smiled at work, he joked with friends, he even comforted people who were struggling, but inside, he felt like he was slowly fading, like he was disappearing behind the role he had created. One day, something small happened, so small no one else noticed. A coworker thanked him for helping with a problem, and then walked away without waiting for a response. That was it. No insult, no drama, just indifference. But it hit him harder than anything else, because it felt like proof that what he did mattered more than who he was. That night, he didn't cry, he just sat there, staring at the wall, feeling empty. He started to realize something painful. People loved his kindness, people appreciated his reliability, but no one knew his sadness. He wondered what would happen if he stopped smiling. If he stopped being the strong one, would anyone still stay? Weeks passed, the weight in his chest grew heavier, smiling became harder, laughing felt forced, and one evening, after a long day of pretending, he finally broke, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, in his dark room, with tears running down his face as he covered his mouth so no one would hear. He cried for all the things he never said, all the times he swallowed his pain so others could be comfortable, all the moments he felt invisible. He cried until he was exhausted, then he whispered something he had never admitted before: "I don't want to do this alone anymore." That was the beginning, not the solution, but the beginning.